The camera doesn't add 10 pounds, it adds 45. I'm actually 6 foot tall and a $105. Yeah, I like to start with a joke. Hello and welcome to The Mill. I am your host, Dusty Crane, and this week I wanted to talk about, let's just cut to the chase. If ever there was evidence of the fact that Jamey, while Stonemaier Games does sponsor the show, they don't have any direct say over what I cover on the show, it might be this week, because this week I want to talk about what a lot of people are talking about as it relates to Stonemaier Games, and that is, we'll call it the truth about Stonemaier Games, or the truth about Stonemaier Games if you are paying attention to certain forums and public feedback. And the truth is that I don't necessarily have a 100% side that I 100% relate to. I kind of see both sides, and I just kind of wanted to talk it out. I know I'll get some comments that maybe help me further kind of flesh out that opinion, and that's kind of what I wanted to go for this week. If you have not read Jamey's blog post on Stonemaier Games, I will link to it in the comments, in the show notes. But I kind of wanted to talk about what he posted there. There's been some criticism lately all over the board of Stonemaier Games, everything from map pricing, which is like minimal advertised price, to who they're making copies for, where they're directly selling to, all of this stuff. And, I kind of wanted to talk about at least one piece in particular, because there's a part of it that, for me, I kind of understand, kind of don't understand. Let's just go ahead and get to it. There's one part of the argument that I have the most difficulty with, and that is the one that is Stonemaier Games sells to Amazon. Now, I've done a video about this before, but there's been more stuff that's come out. There's been more conversation, and frankly, I've had more time to think. So Jamey has stated many, many times, Stonemaier Games does not sell to retailers. They sell to distributors. And so, in that regard, Jamey doesn't sell to Amazon. Jamey doesn't sell to your friendly local game store either. And that's another piece of the puzzle here, because a lot of people are saying that because Jamey sells to the distributor Flat River Group, I said Flat River Group. Now I don't know if it's Flat Rock Group. Let's just assume that I'm saying the right name for the sake of argument, shall we? Because Jamey sells to that distributor, and that distributor directly sells to Amazon.com, Walmart.com, Target.com. One day my voice will be the same again. Because he directly sells to this distributor, that he is then in terms selling to those places. And I understand the case to be made for that. But I also don't understand I don't know whether or not there are any other industries where people say, hey, you need to a manufacturer, mind you, that they say you need to sell to a mom and pop shop and prioritize them over the big retailers, the big box retailers. Now, before I get into this, because I know this is murky waters itself, I don't have a friendly local game store that I frequent, but I do regularly buy games from either Stonemaier's website or from, I just recently bought directly from Portal Games, the expansion for 51st State. So I tend to kind of either buy directly from companies that I enjoy or I like, that I want to support them directly because there's more money for them to be made that way, or from Amazon if it's one of those big box companies themselves, like an Asmodee or something like that. Part of the argument that has come up is by Jamey selling directly to Flat River Group that it's not fair for him to say, I don't sell to Amazon. And so as I was kind of talking about this with my wife, and I was asking her, is it fair for people to say, since he's knowingly selling to a distributor that sells directly to them, that that he can say I don't sell to Amazon. And my wife is big into the beauty industry. Like, she loves watching the beauty YouTubers, and it seems like at least once a month there's some new drama that she's going to fill me in on, and I don't know any of the players involved, but I've heard their names enough that I'm kind of in the loop. I can tell you a little bit about what's going on with Toddy and James Charles, and what any of that means, I don't know. But she mentioned that recently there has been a big cosmetic company called Wet n Wild, or I don't know if that's their product line or whatever, but they claim to be cruelty-free. And that, if you're unfamiliar, is that they don't test their products on animals. And I don't know where they make their products, but apparently if you make a product outside of China and you sell to China, then China will test the product on animals. And so the question becomes, Wet n Wild is made a point to use the hashtag cruelty-free in their social media. It's something that they brag on. They don't personally test on animals. However, if they're selling to China, either directly or through a distributor, they are indirectly endorsing it, I guess, since they know that part of the chain of how things have to happen is that they get tested on animals. So is it fair to use that tag? I guess that kind of, to me, that kind of went around to, is it fair for Stonemaier Games to say that they're friendly local game store friendly if they are selling to a distributor that is then selling to Amazon or Target.com or Walmart.com? And man, it is just as foggy and murky as ever, because I see, when I look at it from like that makeup perspective, I mean, that makes so much more sense to me than, is it friendly local, is it FLGS friendly? And because an animal is potentially being hurt, I think maybe there is more morally wrong with selling to China versus the fact that nobody is physically, or nothing is physically getting hurt by Jamey selling to Flat River than then sells to Amazon. However, I know that we're also talking about mom and pop shop, that store owner, their livelihood, and that these small stores tend to do more for communities than these big stores. So it's all very gray. Now, for me personally, I don't think Jamey's wrong for saying he's FLGS friendly, because he wants them to survive, and he has newsletters for them. But at the same time, this practice of selling to Flat River Group also impacts the mom and pop shop. So that's hard for me to kind of wrap my mind around. But at the same time, like, then if I think about it from Stonemaier Games, the company, it's too easy to personalize this and say, this is Jamey's doing. Jamey is the sole person behind this, because he's not. He is certainly the face man, and he's certainly the majority owner. And I think if you ask anybody, that they would say the same thing. Stonemaier Games is Jamey. Jamey is Stonemaier Games. But he does have partners. He does have shareholders. And he's beholden to them, just like any big box company is beholden to their shareholders. Now, I don't want to get into that argument either, because there's so much bad intention with some of these big box retailers and the things that they'll do to provide for their shareholders. And again, that's a personal opinion. That's not, I don't think I can monetize that or prove it. But I think Jamey also has to do, or I think Stonemaier Games also has, see, I'm already doing it. These things are like interchangeable, and they shouldn't be. Or maybe they should. I don't know. But he has to do what's right for himself, for his partner, for the shareholders. Is it right by them to go ahead and say, hey, we're not going to sell to Flat River Group? Because that is going to cut into what he's obligated to do for them and for himself. And certainly everybody knows that Jamey is like 100% available and around for us. So asking him to do something to harm his own well-being seems strange and counterintuitive too, you know what I mean? It seems weird to me to also say, hey, small company Jamey, because he is a small company, just like the mom and pop shops say, hey, hurt your company to help another small company. That seems wrong to me too. And so like, I don't know why like this whole, I mean, I guess drama just by nature is kind of, you kind of look towards it, right? I mean, you drive by an accident, you don't want to see anybody hurt, but you still want to see if somebody's hurt. And it's such a strange part of human nature. I don't know if there's like some kind of biological imperative there, or there's some explanation. But I've been fascinated by the, I guess, the accusations levied and the responses to them. And I sometimes find myself somewhere in between, which I think is healthy. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to watch me, who's commentating on Stonemaier stuff and who is, sponsored by Stonemaier, for me to just, break out the whole like white knight thing and Jamey is blameless and perfect in the eyes of the people. And I don't think you want that from me. It certainly would not be natural for me. I am perfectly okay with the people that I admire or the companies I admire being flawed. And, I know nobody's perfect. And I think if there was some easy answer that Jamey could be fair to the people he's beholden to and could also be fair to the friendly local game stores, if there was some ideal way, because I've seen some of that criticism leveled too in terms of, something about demo copies. And again, we're personalizing this and we're saying Jamey doesn't do this, Jamey doesn't do that, when it's Stonemaier Games handles something a certain way. Now, maybe that was Jamey's direction, but at the end of the day, it's a company making a business decision. It is not Jamey, a person, making a personal decision. But I can also see the argument that it is. You can see why this is so difficult to discuss and kind of come to a black and white answer where it's like, no, this is how it is. You can put draw your line in the sand and say, I can see the arguments for both. Like I said, I don't have a friendly local game store that I go into. I go to Amazon in many cases, so I want those games to be available on Amazon. But I also understand the friendly local game store saying, hey, it's so easy to buy online. It's almost a bigger inconvenience for people to come into our stores. There needs to be some incentive. And I know part of that incentive is you have personal service and you have people that are very knowledgeable and very passionate about that particular subject that are right there available to you. So if I want to know about cameras, I can walk into Best Buy and some guys memorize the card that says, these are the frame length. I don't know anything about cameras. These are the details about the camera. And they've just memorized bullet points. You can go on bestbuy.com and see what those bullet points are. If you go into a camera shop, you have some guy who's going to tell you everything. ISO, white balance, all this stuff. I know a little bit more than I thought. But, it's so hard, but it's something that it's so hard to kind of find a side to come down on, because this matters to me in that I'm associating myself with a brand. And so I don't want them to be doing anything particularly heinous, because that kind of reflects on me, even though nobody's like, hey, how does this affect Dusty? Nobody. Not even me, really. But, ultimately, where I come down on is the side that I come down on, I think, and this has changed from day to day, actually, is that I don't think there's any wrongdoing or ill will or evil intent on Stonemaier Games' behalf. I don't think that they are looking to screw the friendly local game store, nor do I think that they are doing anything to necessarily really provide something that's going to drive you to a friendly local game store. I think it's all kind of neutral, and I know there's this whole demo copy thing. I don't know the answer because there's cost involved in doing game store only promos, but that almost makes me think, like, what if that was kind of a leaf, or a fig leaf? Like, what kind of leaf is like a nice gesture? I don't know. That, if that was like kind of like a hand extended to say, listen, we're going to make this particular promo or this particular item that's only available to friendly local game stores. I don't know if that makes business sense, if that would ultimately hurt more than it helps. But then again, we've seen like Cool Stuff Inc. We've seen them print their own little, here's a promo code for Charterstone. And, so there's ways that the people themselves can go ahead and differentiate. But again, Cool Stuff is a larger company than most mom and pop shops. So I guess I'm really no closer to having the solution than probably any of the rest of us are. But I kind of wanted to share my thoughts because I kind of wanted to hear what you guys are thinking as well. I'm not looking to drag anyone through the mud or anything like that. So if you feel super negatively about the individual Jamey, we don't need that in the comments. I mean, I can't stop you, but it's one of those things where it's like, let's try and keep this about the company and the company practices, or, if you can kind of see it both ways, because it is a difficult, if you're trying to be fair and you're not like super biased in one direction or the other, if you're a super Stonemaier fanboy or you're a super FLGS fanboy and you have had a hard time getting a hold of one game or another, if you're trying to come down in the middle somewhere and you're trying to be fair, I think you can see both sides of the coin. And, I would like to hear kind of like your thoughts on it, your opinions, if anything related to, pardon me, anything that I particularly said in this video. And that's really all I have for you this week. Be good to one another. I've said it the last few weeks, and I just want to keep saying it. Be good to each other. This is a rough ride sometimes, this thing we call life, and there is certainly no shortage of criticism and critique. If there is somebody that you enjoy what they're doing, make sure you tell them, let them know, build them up. We need more people building people up out there, I think. So thank you so much for watching. If you have by chance heard my dog snoring throughout this entire video, because to her I am the most boring person that lives, or at least the topics I talk about are. If you've heard her snoring, I'm so sorry. Hopefully she's not doing it next week, but I'm not going to kick her off the couch either. All right, so thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Bye.
So instead of fig leaf, did you mean olive branch?
Olive branch, yes. I meant extend the olive branch. Okay. This is going to be like one of those little clips at the end.